Peace. What up, what up, what up? It's Jawi tapping in. And I made this little video for all those that finish Kites to a yOunGg. And I wanted to just kind of give a little overview for those that finished. Salute and respect first and foremost. You know, I titled the book Kites to a yOunGg because coming from the streets myself, like everybody else, you know, we grew up and we learned our habits through those that done it before us. And a lot of the things that we was taught coming up, we believed in, we live and die by. And I know many of y'all feel the same way. I think one of the things that's missing in the streets, amongst a few other things, but definitely this is one of them, is the wisdom being passed down for those who survived the streets. You know, it's always been a saying out there that goes, there's only two ways out of the streets: prison or casket. And we've all heard that saying growing up. And just through my journey and just through all the shit that I've been through, I realized that's not true, or it's not fully true. There's definitely a third way out. And that's when you walk out on your own two motherfucking feet and you survive. That's the third option out the streets. And I think for a lot of the guys that have survived, been through the trenches, been through the ups and the downs, all of that, I think that there's not enough passing of the wisdom down to those that's still fully committed and dedicated to the life, to the turf, to the set. In fact, what I see more and more nowadays is the older guys, the elder homies, OGs, whatever you want to call them, it's like they are stepping aside and condoning a lot of the fuck shit that they see going on, but ain't got enough heart, balls, or love to talk to their homies, to talk to the young homies. And talking can only go so far, so let's be clear about that. Talking to your neighborhood don't change the neighborhood, but it's more so about using that influence that you got. Because if you a real reputable G, if you come from somewhere, if you're from somewhere, and you got respect where you from, then that means you got the ears of, maybe not all, but you got a percentage, a portion of your neighborhood that fuck with you, that do listen to you, that do respect you as a big homie, a big bro, or OG. They hear you. And maybe what you got to say don't change things today or tomorrow, but I think that if whatever involvement that you do have with your hood, it should come from that point of view. And I don't see enough of that. I mean, you know, I talk to a lot of my peers that's big homies, that's OGs of their neighborhoods, and it's just I don't get that energy up off of them. It's more so just sitting by, watching shit, and, you know, then going back to their life, you know, whatever that may be, working, out the way, ducked off, but no involvement in trying to influence the youngsters to choose a better way, to make better choices, better decisions, and stop throwing their goddamn lives away to this fucked up system that's designed specifically to kill you and bury you in a system. That's why I wrote Kites to a yOunGg, because at the end of the day, I done put a lot of pain in the street, and seeing how I'm living today, and just the views and the values that I got, I feel like it's a moral obligation of mine to do something. You can't bring back anybody that passed away. You can't undo any time that you've done. All you can do is pass down whatever you've learned, whatever perspective and point of view you got on the big picture in life, not just your neighborhood, because this world is so much bigger than your goddamn section. And that's something that the youngsters, I don't think, fully understand. They think that being in a set is all it is and all it ever will be. And those that have survived know that that's bullshit. And that's the message. That's the story that we got to start teaching and passing down. I don't think it's all about saving everybody. I'm not a motherfucking crime fighter. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm none of that. I'm just a motherfucker who done came from somewhere, suffered the worst that come with it, and was fortunate enough to survive it. And now that I've survived, and now life has offered me new opportunities, a new outlook, I want to pass that down to my homies. I want them to experience some of this peace, some of this tranquility and harmony that come with life when you ain't out there running from the one time, when you ain't out there ducking from enemies and jackers and all the negative shit that come with the streets. It's a very toxic, hostile, chaotic lifestyle. And peace is, I believe, the ultimate goal of life. Peace. And that's something that I want for not only just those that I know will come up from my neighborhood, but just in general, just to the streets in general. It's just something that we've never really had a stronghold on. We live for the chaos. We live for the violence and the turbulence. And it's because we don't know anything else. You can be involved in something so bad for so long that it now becomes normal to you. And I'm hoping that that's what I was able to do with this book, Kites to a yOunGg. It's just to show them a different way, show them that life ain't got to always be the way it is right now. I'm 44 years old, and trust me, 95% of the shit that I would live and fucking die for, the things that I would take your life for, or the things that I would go do a bid for, I don't believe in none of that shit no more. And it's not because I'm not down, it's because it's stupid. Has no meaning, no longevity. Life is about love. Life is about family. Life is about, vacationing. Life is about getting out of it as much as you can before your time is up. It's about raising your damn kids and having a significant other, a wife, somebody to love you, to lay down with at night, cook food for you and support you and be an emotional rock for you, from the ass whooping that the world gives you probably daily. That's what the hell life is about. Not about hanging out in a punk ass corner, doing county bids or doing state bids, coming home, going back to the same bullshit that sent you up in there. That ain't what life is about. And for many of us, that's the life that we have to live for X amount of time, for sure. But for those that survive it, there's something else out there waiting for you. And that's what I wanted to present with this book, man. There's another way. And you got to preserve enough in you to survive long enough to get through the shit that you're living through. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. I hope y'all enjoyed this book. And if it done anything for you, make sure you pass it on to another youngster that's out there that's stuck, lost, and stagnant, just like you are or were. Salute from the big homie, Jawi, Jersey, signing out. Whoa, whoa.